Ndị be anyị ndewonu. Ọ bụ Ada Igbo na-ekwu na Igbo Media. N'Igbo Media, anyị na-ewetara unu ọtụtụ ozi gbasara ihe na-emegasị na Biafra Land, n'ala Igbo na mba ndị ọzọ. N'ụbọchị nke taata, o nwere ihe bịara n'iru akwụkwọ anyị nke anyị ga-agụpụtara unu n'ụbọchị taa. Anyị gụpụtachaa ya, unu egee ya ka ọha n'uju. Ị ga-esie ya, ị drọpụọla your comment, like kwa this our video and gbasakwa ya ka o ruo ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche arụ. Ozi anyị wetara unu tata si n'aka otu nwanne anyị nwoke, Biafra activist. Dịka o si wetara anyị ozi a n'iru akwụkwọ, ọ dere sị: Breaking news: after Finland government declaration on Simon Ekpa'S 6 years jail, Rufai Oseni drops bombshell analysis, Biafrans react. Ya bụ ozi ka anyị ji bịa tata na Igbo Media. Ị ga-esie ya bụ ozi, gbaa mbọ gwa anyị iche ma mekwa ka ozi a rute ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Ngwa gere ya ka ọha n'uju.
Rather, at the presidential villa in Abuja, in his remarks, Tinubu stated that although the country is dealing with difficult security challenges, the problems can be fixed with determination and the right strategy. Well, let's take a look before we take some reactions.
I've been looking at the security situation more carefully. I've seen civilian JTF, or what you call it, to react to the security challenges, find so many creative ways you people have been going to protect the neighborhood and communities around you. And that has provoked my thinking about, state police. Again, politics apart. We can discuss with the National Assembly leadership to really, look at critical path to that again.
All right. I mean, the state governors have also been advocating for the state police. It's good and it's quite reassuring to see that the president is actually at this moment backing the idea. Let me take Temi Tokwe's tweet, and he wrote, if there's going to be state police, then devolution of power must happen. Let states pay their police salaries from the proceeds they see in their states. I like that point. You can't create state police without devolution of power. A police in Lagos or Rivers should earn more than the one in Yola, right, Rufai? Another tweet is from Femi. They wrote, absolutely. We've been clamoring for this for long. The local people know their own people and state very well. Let them police their own affairs. Each state should recruit individuals from their states, send them to the federal government police college for a mandatory training. After the training, they obtain a police license. Then they go back to their states as police officers to be managed by the state governments. The federal government can then have specialized policing teams for crime investigation and for deterrence. Dr. Vati, what do you make of this? I mean, I do like the idea of devolution of powers as well. I mean, I think that that is really the way to go.
Okay, let's start as follows. This is not new. I made a point earlier on that since 2014 National Political Conference, state police was one of the recommendations of that political conference under the Jonathan administration. But of course, when President Buhari got there, he set it aside. He said it was not an issue, complaints about the conclusions of that report, about the composition of the National Political Conference. That was that. But when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu got into office, he, having been an advocate and having written a book on federalism, said, okay, let us visit the issue of state police. In 2024, a committee was set up to revisit the matter. That committee was led by the Vice President Kashim Shettima. Now, by January this year, we were told that all the state governments had already signed up to the idea of state police. We discussed it here. Many people say, oh, it was an idea that the time had come. Now, various states, they were supposed to submit their reports, their own, framework as to how that can be worked out. Now, the deadline given to them was, I think, March 2025. As at March 2025, only 20 states have submitted their own reports. So you don't even see the commitment on the part of the states. So now President Tinubu, meeting a delegation from Katsina State, says he's committed to the idea of state police. What will be required? Now the background lies in constitutional reform. Section 215 says, 214, Section 214 says that there shall be only one police force in Nigeria. So that's where the point about devolution of powers comes from. That for you to have state police, you have to amend that Section 214. Section 215 of the same constitution says expressly that only the president of Nigeria can give directives to that sole police force of Nigeria. So unless you do all of that, the governors are powerless. That's why a governor, of Zamfara State will say, well, I can solve the problem, but he does not have the powers. That's why an ordinary police sergeant, or what was his rank, will tell Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos that I don't take instructions from a governor. I take instructions only from my organs on top. So these are the issues that are involved here. But the state governors, they say they want to control security in their states if they are so empowered. In other jurisdictions, in America, where you came from.
From where?
You came from America.
My originality is
they have National Guard.
American,
they have, marshals. They have all this in a federal system. So that's why the whole issue is about constitutionalism, control, power sharing, and also, the will on the part of the government.
But we are seeing that the president is aligned with the idea of devolution of power and that sort of federalism, and saying that he backs the state police.
It's not for you to talk about it.
I know, but it's great that he's talking about it. I'm just saying, but hopefully it will go through that constitutional amendment, because this is really what we need for these people. Like you see in the tweets, they're saying the states have control of the people, and if they have control of the people, they know the people that they can recruit, and they're able to govern their states, and we are able to hold them to account. I like that. In the same vein, though, reactions have continued to trail the 6-year sentencing of Nigerian-born Finnish citizen Simon Ekpa by a Finnish court for terrorism-related activities. The federal government, through the Minister of Information, had hailed the verdict as a major victory for the Nigerian police, or for the Nigerian people, in the collective fight against terror. Now, the Igbo social cultural organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, on Wednesday applauded the federal government for Ekpa's incarceration. In a statement by the deputy president of the group, the development underscores the Igbo people's resolute opposition to armed struggle under the guise of Biafra agitation. The group stated that they unequivocally condemn terrorism in all its forms and reject any deviation from non-violent self-determination principles, adding that the Igbo nation stands united for peace and constructive dialogue. I mean, this group have stated that, Ekpa's arrest will mitigate insecurity in the southeast. They commended the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for their efforts in fighting terror in the region. The Finnish court, Rufai, found Ekpa guilty of using his social media to urge his followers to commit crimes. He was also found guilty of supplying groups with weapons and explosives while also promoting violence on the ground in Nigeria from where he was in Finland. I'd like to take some reactions to that comment from the Igbo social cultural group Ohaneze Ndigbo. This person, Naji, wrote on X that this is not a federal government of Nigeria case. It's between Finland and Simon Ekpa. No one needs to commend Nigeria government for it. I completely disagree with that tweet. Well, Araba described the deputy president as fraudulent. He wrote, how can this fraudulent person claim to be speaking for the Ohanese with no challenge? Which government or which federal government did that? Why did they allow the guy to wreak havoc in the southeast before going after him? Is it not shameful that this case concluded speedily, which is a huge conversation, while the other one in Nigeria moves like snail? Your thoughts on those comments? I mean,
okay.
What are your
So, terror has no place in society. And anybody that supports and condemns and condones terror, like Simon Ekpa did, I totally condemn them. Because I feel terror is not the solution to the problems of the Southeast. Are there cases of marginalization against the Southeast? Yes, like we always say, the Civil War never ended. Honestly, and it's true. Because after Gowon declared no victor, no vanquish, there's still a lot that needs to be done for the Southeast that has not been done. And we still see this clear marginalization. And it's this marginalization that makes people like Simon Ekpa have a voice in the first place. At some point, it was Ralph Wazirike, Nnamdi Kanu, all of them. The common thread is marginalization, which I think the government should fix. And that's why I said the first process in doing that is settling the Nnamdi Kanu case. And so that we start restoring sanity to the Southeast region. Because if we restore it, then development will come. But I totally condemn everything Simon Ekpa did do at that point in time. But I think, and I disagree with that too, like you said, the federal government has to be commended because the federal government did make overtures.
They
but
played a
Finland
major role
did
in
say,
that,
okay, yes, we are, we're a sovereign nation, we're going to deal with this. And IPOB also did go against, some, Ekpa, a lot. And in fact, they did come out openly to pronounce that they're not in support of what he was doing. So that's settled. I think another case I would like to talk about is this. You see, the kind of democracy we run in Nigeria is a hypocritical democracy. It's a demonstration of grace. And Dr. Bali, you made a valid point that in the Constitution, yes, the police, the Nigerian police force, which says we all take, instruction from the commander-in-chief, that only applies when the Governor Institute is not aligned with the federal government. We have also seen police in the states being used, and federal police in the state being used to be able to go against oppositions of governors. In that same state, when they are doing it, the state governor is in charge. You know why? Because it's probably alignment with the central government then. But when it comes to cases of insecurity in the states, and is not probably aligned with the central government, then he starts to cry. Because that time, the central government will not give him all the support he gets. So I think also the case of the politicization of the central government in the case of insecurity is the big problem. Coming back to what Dauda was saying, and I think this is the thread with what Dauda was saying. When we hear about cases of banditry in Zamfara states, we don't see the big response by the state, by the federal government security forces there. But recently there was an election. 5 polling units. You needed to see how they deployed brigades and brigades. In fact, they summoned up military forces from Gombe and neighboring states just to be able to oversee 5 polling units because the APC was involved in that election and they finally did win the election to prove a political point. Right. So another part in all of this conversation about state police is going to be the eventual politicization of the apparatchik of security in those states. And that's why Dauda is saying that, yes, I should be able to sort this out. But the question is, we also know what is going on in these states. The politicization, because in one breath, you want to go ahead and flush the bandits.
Yeah.
The bandits are also valuable during election period.
What are the solutions?
Number one solution will be this.
Just 2 seconds.
Have a state police that is totally independent. And in fact, even having a state police is overflowed because there is almost no states. Most of the states in this country and most of the regions have some sort of architecture of state police. In the southeast, there's Ebuka.
Yeah, but their remits are limited.
Their remits are limited. No, the only difference is, what's it called? Amoteku carries weapons, but they don't carry high-grade weapons like an AK-47. But they do intelligence gathering work and they work with the police. There's Shege Kafasa, there's all of that. So that model you have been using continue to use it.
So you prefer to have the vigilante?
Ngwano dalo nene no umunnem dikun sinesera ni bo media. Gini kunu wali ikwu na nkawa nke unu. Gbasta maka ihe nọ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Gwa ya ife iche n'ụdị nke gị. Deela ya n'akara kọmentị ka mara ihe i chere. Ma chetakwa tụsa ya bụ ozi ka o were tụ ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị. Ndewo na ụmụnne m ka emesịa nụ.